Hello everybody, it is time to stamp with Viva Las Vegas Stamps. I am Leanne Jago and I am a guest designer here at Viva for a little time, and I wanted to share my first project with you today. So I just had a look in my Viva book and found a couple of stamps that I wanted to use as my main focal points, and then I just went from there. So I'm just using a index card, so 5 by 8 or almost 8. Here I'm just applying some gesso just with the palette knife, and then a Deco Art Media crackle paste. Really love this stuff. I think it's the best crackle out there, but anyway. So just to add a bit of interest to my background, I hate starting with a blank page. And then I just get some antiquing cream and then one of the Lindys magicals. Couple of drops of the cream, little shake of the magicals, and then some water. Okay, so the gesso and the crackle paste is still wet at the moment, so I'm just applying this all to start with and then letting it sit. I really like this effect. It's sort of one of my go-to options if I'm really stuck. So the inspiration for this piece actually came from the January challenge. I looked at it this morning and thought, yep, I'm gonna go with something like that, and then it doesn't really turn out like that, but that's okay, you know, it's all about playing. So I've just got some tissue paper here with some stays on in the black, and I'm going to stamp the Banksy pulling back the curtain onto this one. I love Banksy stuff. I think it's inspirational, a little out there, and a bit of fun. So this one's a pretty cool one where he's pulling back the curtain. It can mean whatever you want it to. For me, it was, for my first post here, it was about just letting go. So I was going to stamp my little sentiment on the tissue paper as well, but then I got out just an old library card. I just liked the lines. I thought it needed some lines. And then the Banksy Achieve Greatness stamp. Again, just with the stays on ink. Put it to the side, and then I'll get back my background piece. So it's still just a little bit damp, and I'm just going to use this cross marks stamp just to punch it in there. There's some black bits and some of the gesso that still isn't dry, so I like the effect of it. And then I'm going to get out a couple of other stamps in a minute just to add a bit of background to it, but I'm just going to try and dry it as much as I can. There we go. And so I've just got the row of numbers, the punchinella stamp, and then that the cross marks as well, just with some distress oxide. I'm just using the old paper and broken china in that, just to add a little bit of something in it. You can't really see a lot of it in the end, but anyway. Now with the cross marks, just going in with some London fog. Again, it's just building up a background. Okay, so now I'm working out where I'm gonna put this. Now the whole actual piece, start to finish, probably took about 20 minutes, maybe. So I'm a pretty quick processor. Like, I don't think about things a lot. I'm not a paper shuffler by any means. So now with this tissue paper, just sort of working out where I'm going to put it, and I just ripped it so that the curtains can be drawn back, because I knew I wanted that effect of actually pulling back curtains apart from just the stamped image. So I'll just attach the tissue paper with some gel medium. Now I go to put it down, and then I had the curtain open, the window open in my art room, and it blew it, so it was a bit tricky, but I got there in the end. So I just wanted to make sure that that stamped image was pretty flat, and then the rest can just crinkle and crunkle however it sort of wanted to. And then putting my sentiment in there. I guess for my first piece here at Viva, it is all about giving myself permission to do what I want, and that little bit of freedom that comes with the awesome stamps that are available. So, and I don't have a long arm stapler, so I just have to do the old stapling it then folding the staples over method. Still works. Then I'm just pulling back the curtain a bit more. I'll just add a couple more staples there to the tissue paper. You can see I'm not that particular when I'm ripping this as to how it's all going, because the page is still a little bit damp by the way, so it's the way it goes. So I decided that piece needed to be stuck down, but I didn't want it to be perfect, so I've just actually used whatever water and gel medium was sitting in my paintbrush at the time. So you can see it came back a fair bit up the top there, but I actually like that effect. It looks pretty cool. So drying it a little bit, because I always outline my pieces usually with Stabilo, so I try and have it a little bit dry. And then I decided that I needed a little bit more stamping, so just with some walnut stain and using the scribble circle, it doesn't actually come out that well, but it adds a little bit of something in a little bit of areas. You know, you live and you learn. And going around just with my Stabilo just to outline it, and then I will just activate it and let it run where it needs to run. So at the actual piece as well, so that the Stabilo actually does flow a little bit into the cracks and crevices that the crackle medium's made, and then just wherever it needs to on the piece. Then I decided that the outline of that sentiment is a bit stark, so just go around it with whatever Stabilo was on my pencil, on my paintbrush, sorry. Then I'm thinking, you know, it's pretty cool, it's a bit finished, and then it's like, no, needs a little bit of shellac. So just using an eyedropper, just randomly wherever it needs to go. Kind of felt like it was a little bit too plain, so that's why I added that. Again thinking, yep, it's finished, and then it's like, no, hang on a minute, a little bit more stamping. So just using the cross circle, I'm just going to stamp a couple of little crosses in there. Isn't it funny how you think things are finished in your head, and then you sort of look at it for a second and want to add just that little bit more. Sometimes I forget to stop and go too far, but I'm pretty sure we all do that. Again, just drying it off a little bit. And then just with a correction pen, I'm just doing a couple of dots. Just needed that little bit more. And then a couple of ticks with my Stabilo. This time it's finished. So thank you very, very much for watching my very first post here for Viva Las Vegas Stamps. Don't forget to watch some more videos and subscribe.